What's up, everybody, and welcome to a Monday edition of Weekday Wagers. I am your host, Daniel Greer, and we have a lot that we're going to get into. There's a lot of storylines that are going around, honestly, baseball, but as well as there's the NFL. There's some people holding in, some people holding out, as well as we had some preseason football, and I know everybody was excited to see the NFL get back on our screens. We did a lot of talk today at Coach and Company. If you missed the show, go back and check it out from this morning. We talked a lot about, it was the preseason talk about the totals. Will the week 2 of the preseason bear out all of the overs that we saw in week 1? So we'll get into, we got into all of that on Coach and Company today. We're talking about, did anything surprise us throughout? But also, we have our wagers. We have the Daily Dinger. So we're fully loaded. And we're fully loaded with a guy who everybody knows from Just as That Sports. He is Marky Motto. What up, Mark?
DG, look, I just glad to be out of the weekend. Not looking forward to the recap screen that we're going to do on Friday. We're hoping to kind of change that momentum and get the week started off on a winning foot.
No doubt. Well, it should be a good show, but this won't be a disaster, but some team that has been a disaster as of late has been Aaron Boone-led New York Yankees. So the Wall Street Journal has actually put out a question, and so we want to share that with you all. The Yankees, $300 million disaster? Mark, can you answer this question easily?
Yeah, there's a term that they use in country music a lot. It's called an Oklahoma smoke show, which is just another phrase for it's a ish show. It's going down in flames. You got Jorge Posada, who over the weekend is starting to call out his old team, calling them soft. And when you have Yankee legends looking back and questioning the fortitude of a Yankees team, it spells disaster internally for the organization. Aaron Boone on the hot seat. Everybody's calling for him to be fired. He is 8 years in and 8 years with the same results. They call it the mid-season bloom doom. Boom, bloom. And I just think it's run its course. He hasn't been able to produce. I think the Yankees have to start making changes, and it begins with Aaron Boone.
Wow, that is shocking to me. I did not expect to see Aaron Boone on honestly the hot seat. But if you look at just their last 10 games, the 3-7, as we talked about coming off the last weekend, it was, them getting swept by the Miami Marlins, who are, honestly playing much better baseball. But a team you said that sucked was the Atlanta Braves, and they swept the Miami Marlins this past weekend. So it just goes to show that anybody can beat anybody at this point. But the fact that the Yankees are struggling so bad, Aaron Judge is finally back, so they don't have excuses there. So I'm very shocked as to why he is on the hot seat. But we'll see.
And to answer that, I think it's a number of things. You get a guy, Jazz Chisholm, who literally gets thrown out at first base because he didn't tag up on an infield fly to second base. He gets caught five steps off the bag. Second baseman throws him out at first base. And those are the kind of mental mistakes that just destroy momentum. It's just horrible baseball. And there's no excuse for it. And the fact that Chaz was allowed to continue in the lineup after that should have never happened.
Yeah, that is definitely coaching. As Robbie says, Jazz being lazy, never. But I do have a correction. Dan says that the Braves won 4 out of 5, which you never see a 5-game series, right? But they won 4 out of 5 from Thursday all the way to Sunday against the Marlins. But yes, I was wrong there, but still 4 out of 5. I'll take that every day of the week. But shout out to Dan Clark. It's his birthday. So happy birthday, Dan. Thanks for hanging out with us, making us a part of your day, but everybody else that's here. The chat is loaded. Everybody's already chatting back and forth, which we all love. One guy who won't be chatting with the coach, or maybe wants to be chatting with the coach, is James Cook, as we go to football a little bit. Look at this guy, looking stylish. Mark, I got a question. Cook out of the kitchen?
Yeah. This is mind-boggling to me on two fronts. First of all, James Cook, what are you doing? You get drafted in the game. You go through. You have the foresight to actually go through pregame warm-ups, go through the drills. You get all set. It comes time to take the field, and then you decline to go into the game because you're in a contract dispute. What the hell are you doing? That is such a horrible message to send to the front office, who, by the way, needs to get their crap together and figure this out. If this is going to be Josh Allen's year, and that window, by the way, has been closing for the Bills for the last 3 years. If this is going to be your year, why would you allow this to be a distraction? Why would you not gel all the offensive unit together, take care of this guy, have Allen feel comfortable with who the personnel is around him, and really make your jump and your journey to the postseason this year, get it off on the right foot. This is a distraction, and it's absolutely wrong on both sides.
Yeah, and I look at this. James Cook had an amazing year last year. I believe he had 16 touchdowns. If not, that was our guy Josh Allen had the 16. He had 11, I think it was. But either way, he had double-digit touchdowns last season. Yeah. A really good running back, especially like one of the best offensive, guys on that side for Buffalo. But if you look at this, he's not made a lot of money on his contract, right? His first year was 705, then 970,000. Last year's 1.1. This year, it does balloon up big time to 5.2 million. So he's obviously under contract to make 5.2, which is a good amount. He mainly wants to get, signed for, an extension, right? So he wants to make sure as a running back, if you're hot, that's when you get paid, because if for some reason you wait too long, you obviously can be kind of an aged out running back. James Cook, the brother of Dalvin Cook, really came on to the scene the last couple of years. Last year, completely exploded. I think it's smart for him to try to use leverage when he can, especially during the preseason. But I think as you get into, the training camp, if you're practicing, I think that's very smart. But if you're holding out to play the games, I think that's the only thing you have leverage-wise. So if you want to get the extension, that's all he's got available to him is to hold out preseason games.
But here's the point. He's still under contract this year.
Correct.
So why are we doing this now and not next year in the offseason and really utilizing that leverage when there won't be, he'll be up for a renewal. You're doing it now. If I'm the team, I'm like, listen, we still have you for another year that you agreed to. We've already taken it. Yes, you want to work with us on the extension? Fine, we can talk about that after the season's over. Let's concentrate on this year, Coach.
Yeah, he's a free agent after the season. As soon as that last, the ref blows the whistle, he is a free agent after that last game. I think life is leverage. You have to take the leverage when you can. This is his last chance at leverage. He's, in my opinion, I think he's being a good teammate by being a hold in, right? So he's actually going into training camp and he's not just holding out completely. He's a hold in, which means he wants to get paid. He also says, I guess I would speak for him and say, I want to be a Buffalo Bill. Like, I want to be on this team. That's why I'm holding in, because guess what happens? We go through the year, week 5 comes and dude gets hurt. Right. That your leverage is gone. I know that's part of business, but so is this. This is the part of business for the players. This is the only leverage they have, is just to not play.
Look. That's Mike and Trey. That's, what I mean? It's still a contract that you agreed to. You have a full year to play. And yes, I understand you become a free agent at the end. Then the onus becomes on the front office to secure you for that extension. We want to take care of you. We want you to be on this Bills team. This is a preemptive. Yes, I understand why, but at the same time, it's a distraction that the team doesn't need.
Okay. So for example, Micah and Trey, are they in the wrong? Micah
are they Parsons, in the wrong?
Trey Hendrickson? Yes. I'm asking about them too. Are they in the wrong?
I think it's so with Micah, no. I don't see it, and this is it. So with Micah, I don't think so. With Micah, he is that defense. He's the defense. With James Cook is a guy who takes the attention off of Josh Allen. He's a safety valve. He is not the offense of the Buffalo Bills.
He's their best running back.
Okay. You know who the number 2 running back in Buffalo is?
Right.
Josh Allen. Okay. So, I mean, that tells you all you need to know about the running game in Buffalo. That's it.
You're wrong, Mark. You're wrong on this because this is all he has left is for him to use this leverage because he is under contract. Just the same thing with Trey Henderson, but also the same exact thing with Micah Parsons. They're all under contract. They all want an extension. And I get that they're under contract. And I agree that holding in is better than holding out. But I don't want to get on the, hey, Jerry Jones F's it up because that's what Jerry Jones does. Yes, I understand that part. If you just thought about all these equally, they're all under contract and they all want extensions because they don't want to go out there and play on the last year of their contract. So they're all trying to get paid and be under contract and be able to play, carefree football, moving forward. So that's why I asked that question. So, I just think that I think they're all making good decisions. They're all in camp. I believe actually Trey Henderson, I don't think he is in camp. No. But either way, I think Mike is in camp, even though he did request a trade. But James Cook seems to be in camp and actually doing, some drills and stuff. And so at that point, I feel like that this is the better of the other 2 situations, in my opinion.
Is there any truth to this? Have you heard?
No, it would take a lot. If he does, he does. I would never hate on a player for trying to get more money and using their leverage when they can, as long as they're not doing disservice to their team. When you're holding out, it means you're not going through drills. You're not getting your body right. You don't have to play in these preseason games. And that's why I think this James Cook thing is better because he's in training camp going through everything that you normally could. It's just, he's not playing the preseason games. So either way. All right. That is our split decision today, as some people are joking about. But we do have a little bit more, NFL preseason talk. And before we get to our wagers here, very short, very sweet. We want to keep this thing moving. But was there any takeaways from the preseason this past week that you saw that, hey, a light bulb goes off like, all right, this has got me thinking about this team or this player?
Yeah, it's interesting because I am not a big preseason advocate. I think that a lot of the stuff, the personnel evaluations that they do in game situations, that's what practice is for. And you set up scrimmages against opposing teams, and they do that in addition to these preseason games. So I hate that argument. What I did find interesting is, especially with the New Orleans Aints, their quarterback situation, it goes from suck to suck worse with Spencer Rattler and was it Show
or something like that.
Yeah, it's slow. Yeah. The only thing, I think any hype that they had around Spencer Rattler is, if at this point is still there, is so misplaced. He didn't look fit last year as an NFL quarterback. He doesn't look good as a preseason NFL quarterback this year. I think they've got some real decisions to make. I think that the Giants, I was a little shocked with the Giants' performance this weekend. I thought that they did fairly well. But what's not to like about what the Chargers did to the New Orleans Saints?
Oh, God. I just looked it up. It's Tyler Shuck, Shough, but it's spelled, sorry, it's pronounced Shuck, Tyler Shuck. He's obviously, the number 2 on the depth chart. He played for, Oregon, Texas Tech, but also Louisville. And he was selected in the second round this past season. So he is a rookie. If you're not familiar with him, completely understand. But Tyler Shuck, in my opinion, I would go with him because I think Spencer Rattler is what he is. I think he's a Temu Baker Mayfield. And that, in my opinion, I just don't think he's very good. But I do really think that Tyler Shuck wins that. Some people are bringing up Jackson Dart. I thought Jackson Dart looked good. In my opinion, and I'll ask you this. Actually, I'll ask you this first before I give my opinion. Russell Wilson. Westbrook might be better than Russell Wilson right now.
We were just shifting gears. I'm like, wait a minute, NBA.
Scott Tyler says that Russell Wilson will be done by week 5. All right. So from my understanding, the Giants are saying we're going to go with Russell Wilson to start week 1. And then behind him is Jameis Winston. It's weird that Jackson Dart got the start in that game, and then Jameis Winston ended up coming on and playing some snaps in that. This would mean that, if you looked at the writing on the wall, it would mean Jackson Dart's the 2, on the depth chart, and Jameis Winston's the 3. I don't see how that is, in my opinion. But if I had to ask you, your opinion, you're the coach or the owner, the GM, if you saw enough out of Jackson Dart just in the preseason, would you throw him in week 1 and kind of put all eggs in one basket going with him?
Oh, God, no. To start week 1? So you're saying
no. Would you go week 1?
Huh?
You wouldn't go week 1 with Jackson Dart?
No. I think because you have Russell Wilson there for a reason. You have Russell Wilson. I'm not saying he doesn't. What I'm saying is he's there for a reason. He is there so that as he goes through week 1, week 2, they can start transitioning and really start utilizing, whether it's Dart or Winston. I'm not a big Jameis fan. I think Jameis is great for press conferences. I think he's goofy. He does his thing. It's his shtick. Whatever. You know what I mean? And he's great for that.
Okay.
I think Jackson Dart is the better quarterback there out of the 2 of them. And I think eventually Dart takes over the reins as the starting quarterback. And Jameis will just be Jameis.
Scott Tyler says week 5. Miss Kimberly says week 3. What do you say? What week does Jackson Dart take over?
I would split it and say right at 4. I think, look, Russ Wilson's going to get hurt this season. If he goes anything beyond 3 or 4 games, he's going to get hurt, and then it's career over. I think if he's wise, he starts to hand the reins off to a Dart or Jameis, whoever the coaching staff decides is going to be the number 2, simply because that's how he's going to prolong his NFL life. If he thinks that he can pull an Aaron Rodgers there, it's no.
Okay. Well, looking at they open the season on the road in Washington. That would obviously be a tough one. Maybe that's why I would say I'm against starting, Jackson Dart. Then they go at Cowboys, and then they come home week 3 to the Chiefs. My God. And then they're back home again to the Chargers. So they're starting 0-4 in my opinion. Then they take on week, I guess that's week 5 at the Saints.
I think after the Saints game, they're 2-3.
Who are they beating?
Come on, you don't really think the Cowboys are going to win that game, do you?
Dude, the Cowboys will win it blindfolded. I could win the Cowboys game that week.
So let me ask you this. We talk about data all the time. If you had 30 years of data.
Dude, do not do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
If you had 30 years of data.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Wow, they have a really late bye week. No, I'm not falling into this. I'm in the driver's seat, Mark. I'm not going to play along with this stupid Cowboys joke. They're going to suck, and I know it, but my God, I have all the hope in the world today. I'm going to hold that. Please do not ruin my day. All right. Let's see if we can not ruin your paychecks, not your paychecks, your wallet. Maybe this is your way to get a paycheck. We're going to go ahead and get you our wagers here on this Monday. Mark, you're going to lead us off. Don't suck it up.
I certainly won't. I'm going right back to the well with my Golden State Valkyries. We're going to take the first half team total under 41.5 at plus 102. Look, the Valkyries have been one of the league's better defensive teams at home, but their first half scoring output has dropped recently. They're averaging just 39 points in the opening frame over the last 5 games, and that's partly due to slower starts and an emphasis on getting defensive stops. Why? Because they lost all-star Kayla Thornton. She was the transition queen. She was the one who was pushing that tempo, and really trying to put the pressure on opposing teams. She's out with a knee injury, had surgery this past week. She's gone. In the 3 games that they have played without Thornton in the lineup, the under has hit here. They're only averaging 33 points in the first half. I love this spot to target the Valkyries in a slower paced game against the Connecticut Sun, who, by the way, are the slowest paced team in the WNBA.
All right. Well, go ahead and get your Valkyries in. That, listen, I was shocked that I saw the under, first of all, because you love the Valkyries and you've been riding them hot. But now just shows that you are not as biased, that sometimes it can look, because your plays are like, hey, the Valkyries plus this, and you keep cashing. And then the model says, hey, they're going under on their number. It just shows that trust the model, trust your gut. So I like that.
And listen, yesterday Minnesota Lynx. We had the Minnesota Lynx. They were getting 4 points. It just was mind blowing to me that they were catching 4. We took that and the under to hit. I know there was a couple people who had messaged me, who had posted on X about the model plays there. And yeah, I think here's a bonus play for the Valkyries. Ooh. Valkyries minus 7.5 at minus 105. The model has them winning by 11.
Okay. All right. A little bono play. Not against that at all. All right. So go ahead and take the Valkyries. You get the team total under, whatever the number you want to find them on the points. So let's go ahead and go to my plays. I'm going to go to the diamond here. We're going to go with Corey Seager. And yes, that says minus 145. I get it. Don't yell. Corey Seager, 2+ hits, runs, and RBIs. I think I have a stat here. Let's hope this is Corey Seager. Yes, it is. Perfect. Well, if you look at this, he's dominating the Diamondbacks. I think that Corey Seager has it out for them. I don't know why he hates them, but just look over the past years. He is dominating them completely. And I think that if you look for a Corey Seager who continuously is a player who is hitting on a consistent basis, I like it a lot. He's had, against them in his career, he's had a 1+ hit, as I talked about in the morning show today, and 81% of the times he's played against them in all the games. And so I think that he's going to stay hot against, especially with the narrative street. It's a bobblehead night for Mr. Corey Seager. Let's go the 2+ hits, runs, and RBIs at minus 145. Mark, I want to ask, is that too much juice?
Oh, no. Especially for a guy who hates snakes.
Yes. Big snake hater. Big snake hater. I like it. All right. Well, go ahead and get it in. And that's something that you want to see if you can pair with another play. That could be, if you want to, I used to follow a guy. His name was Juice Reducer, Juice Reducer was his name. And he was all about like finding really good plays that were a little juicy, and then finding those plays to add to them, very much like you do on, in the morning show when you have your Just That Sports Play of the Days. It's all about, can you reduce the juice and maybe take less risk? It is a parlay, but if it's only 2 pieces to a parlay, it is nice. He is asking, JC1's asking the odds for a Seager home run. I am looking at his stuff right here on Doink, and it shows plus 310 is the best number on FanDuel. Is that what you have, Mark?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right, so go ahead and go ahead and get those in.
Then the other thing I was going to look up, if you want a juice reducer for that, Seager is where?
He's probably, I think he plays for the Rangers.
Yep. You think?
Sorry.
Why can't I find Bob Seager? I'm just kidding.
JC1 says it's bobblehead night. We got that home run.
If you pair Corey Seager with Luke Keschel of the Twins, Keschel, just to get a hit.
Yeah.
1 hit each. It's plus 102 over on DraftKings. I just pulled it up right now. Keschel has been, he got called up 12 games ago. He's gotten on base in every game so far. He's gotten a hit in 11 out of 12, a hit in 5 of the 5 road games.
Wow.
So that's a great way to take a juicy Corey Seager for a hit and put him with Kestrel. You get plus money out of it.
There you go.
I love that look.
All right, that's the way to look at it, and go ahead and get that because, as Robbie's saying, he has been on fire. Plus 310 for a home run for Seager on FanDuel. Looks like on Fanatics it is plus 330. So if you have that book, go ahead and get it in.
Yeah, I don't have Fanatics.
Yep. So if you want to go ahead and play it however you want, feel free. Another play I just saw, Scott Tyler said the Yankees Red Sox money line parlay is at plus 147. How does the model like Mr. Scott Tyler's play?
Yankees, Boston has both of them favored. So, yeah.
Okay. If you want to go ahead and get that money line parlay in, plus 147 isn't bad. Real quick, speaking of the model, tell the people what's in store when they go and see the model, but also how can they see it for free?
Well, first of all, if you would have been following the model's WNBA plays just yesterday on the spread, 5-0 on the spread for every single game. So it even had the Connecticut Sun playing the LA Sparks close. That one cashed. Head on over to juststatsports.com. Use code BTT30. You're going to get 30 days for free. NFL is going up this week. We are going to have the NFL, Major League Baseball, WNBA. The predictions, the projections have been absolutely incredible. So
all right. Get on over there now. If you're not a part of it, shame on you. But hopefully you join the party over at juststatsports.com. Let's get to some dingers. And we have a little Shohei Ohtani today at plus 200. Brandon Lau. Is it Lau or Low? Lau?
Brandon Lau.
Lau. I thought so. Okay. Plus 275. Mr. Seager plus 300 here. Nick Castellanos plus 375. Then Joey, not Randy's brother, Ortiz. Did I say Ortiz? Yeah, I'm an idiot. I don't know who Randy Ortiz is. I was thinking of Orton, but it might be his cousin. Joey Ortiz might be the cousin of Randy Orton just because it's an O. Plus 505. What say you on your dinger action?
Listen, there's a reason my man is pictured on this graphic. Joey Ortiz has 3 at-bats against Warren. No, wait a minute. Who's he throwing to?
Oh, shit.
Andrew Heaney. I'm sorry. I was thinking the Twins. Andrew Heaney. He has 3 at-bats against Andrew Heaney. 2 hits. Both of them home runs. Dude is dialed in at plus 505. Yeah, I'm all over it.
All right. Joey Ortiz. Well, I like it, but I don't know what to choose. I need some help. Robbie's saying Mickey Moniak for plus 425, but it's that time where King 8 Ball needs some help. He's been hot. Let's stay hot. Mark, who should we ask is going yard tonight?
You know what? FanDuel apparently has Nick Castellanos at plus 400. That might be a nice one.
All right. King 8 Ball is Nicky Castellanos going yard tonight. My reply is no. So that's not looking good. Should we go all in on Seager?
I say, yeah, let's turn the page on Nick Castellanos and go with Corey Bob Seager. See what I did there?
All right, let's see if we can get Bob's son, Corey. Is Corey Seager going the yard tonight, Mr. King 8 Ball? You may rely on it. I like that one. I haven't seen that one.
It's not a solid absolutely, but it's, yeah.
You may rely on it. So I am going to rely on it. I am all in on Seager bobblehead night. This is the narrative street, no doubt. So
like mortgage payment.
Oh yeah, we're gonna ride this thing into the abyss. All right, what is this? I don't get this. Fire Lake?
Oh, it's another Bob Seager song. What do you mean?
Listen, I was hanging out with the cool kids. We didn't talk about Bob Seager all the time. All right. Well, this is a question from Scott Tyler. Mariners are asterisks to win the AL West. Do you know who the asterisks are?
The homeless. homeless.
Do you have a suggestion on who is
If
going to win?
if I'm picking between these two, it's the Mariners. No question. Look, what are we talking about here? That's not even.
He said, what are we talking about here? All right, I'm going to go look at this divisions. All right, let's go see the numbers since we're talking about it, Scotty Tyler. All right, so that is not – I didn't think that was it. The asterisk is the Houston Astros. I thought that was right. Yeah, you are not up. The asterisks are like, when they were beating the they're cheating. They were beating the trash can. So the Mariners are plus 115 to win the AL West, and the Houston Asterisks, shout out Scott Tyler, minus 120 over on DK right now. Who would you pick? Mariners?
I still like the Mariners. I think that the Mariners are a better team. They have the better pitching, and ultimately that's what's going to make these. As we start getting closer to the end of the season, it's the pitching arms that are going to make the difference. And Seattle has a better pitching rotation. Their bullpen, they still have a few holes. They're streaky and susceptible. But overall, they're better than Houston's pitching. Houston added some bats, but they're not there, in my opinion.
Okay, well, there you go. You heard it. I really do think that we're talking about an Astros team just got Corey. I want to say Correa. What's his name? Carlos Correa. Carlos Correa there from the Twins. I had to think of. I didn't want to say the right thing. I just try to think of the wrong thing. So Carlos Correa there now from the Twins, and so maybe bringing them back. They're feeling themselves there in Houston. I think the pitching's been good. I think that they end up holding off, even though they have a half-game lead on the Mariners. It's really neck and neck. So maybe you play the Mariners this week, and then next week, whenever you see the Mariners win 2 or 3 in a row and Houston loses 1 or 2, then it flips and you can get Houston for plus. But I would be careful of taking them too much, but it is very late in the season. All right. That's all we have today. Do you have anything else before we get out of here? We're already way over our time, but it is what it is.
No, I was just doing a real quick glance. Keep your eye Friday, September 19th through the 21st, where the Mariners are playing in Houston. That's going to shape up, especially being right there at the end of the year. That could be a very decisive series, depending on where people are at in the standings. So yeah. I'm going to take a nice quiet day, both in baseball and on the court, and just kind of settle in and go get some of those things that have been piling up on my honey-do list.
I feel you there. Well, my phone will not stop ringing. It's probably everybody calling me to tell me that it's Carlos Correa, not Carlos Correa. But if you missed the show from last Friday, it was a very tired Robbie Hockey. And boy, it's the most I've seen him off his game in a long time, if not forever, that I've seen it. And it was pure gold. And so, yes, if you want to go check it out and just go back just to watch for his plays that he gives, it was awesome. As you know, we always try to give our plays off the top. So we let Robbie lead us off. So, yes, he was sleep deprived, and it was something terrible.
No, it was something.
It was something. Whatever it is, it was something. All right, well, that's all we have. Make sure you check us out Tuesdays. We always throw it back to a little fantasy football. And then as we keep getting closer and closer to football, Wednesdays, when football is back for the NFL, it's all going to be about player props. And so Mondays, we're kind of, me and you, we don't know what to do yet. We're thinking about maybe it's when NFL's here, it's Monday Night Football, breaking that game down completely. Yeah. Tuesdays, it's all about fantasy football. Wednesdays, every player prop from the king player prop himself, King Prop, Mr. Robbie Hockey. And then Thursdays, Thursday Night Football. Friday, we're breaking down all college football, all NFL football. And so it's going to be a loaded shows as we get started here just in a couple weeks. So thank you all for hanging out with us. As always, we'll see everybody tomorrow, same time. See you then.